Guys, I'm here with the affable Bruce Sullivan, who I met at a parenting seminar that our school held for us. And here we are live from my son's prep room. And so I reached out to Bruce because his message that night on that seminar was so important. You know, Bruce has got a really strong passion about relationships and parenting and just being a better version of yourself. And so I loved your message so much, Bruce. I love the content, and I love that you just speak from the heart. And so I had to come out to you and ask you if you wouldn't mind just sharing your wisdom with us. And so I reached out to the gang and said, what are your challenges with parenting? And so we came back with the top 5 things that have come back. And so this would be a nice way for us to kind of reach into your insights. How do you feel about just diving into some of the things that
I think
we're
that
challenged
sounds
with?
great. The number one issue for people typically in all relationships is the issue of communication.
Right.
And, you know, even if you're an employee in an organisation, you know, I've never met anyone yet that said to me in a relationship, that's a work one or a personal one, I just feel like I'm across everything, and I really feel like we're connecting consistently and communicating well. Right. Every now and then, they're moments, they're kind of rare. So there's always opportunity to do some things that make that just a little bit better. So
I hear you. Communication's massive, right? And so the questions that have come through, I suppose the umbrella topic is communication. And then so you'll find that we're going to dive into the questions that you guys asked. So let's dive straight in. The first one that came through, I'm going to give you a summary of what had come through and see if you can relate to this. So husband and I have very different communication styles. I get highly irritated that he can't understand what I'm saying, or he takes it the wrong way in a way that I had no intention. Conversely, I get frustrated about how snap his communication is. It's very quick and curt, and I just need him to kind of extrapolate. At times I feel this is, you know, just a struggle. So how can we step back and take a bird's eye view on this situation? How can we try and be more objective in our style of communication and our own personal nuances to kind of just make this more effective?
Yeah, it's a regular thing, and it's such a hot topic because, look, there are a few things that we get born with, and one of the things that we are hardwired with is our psychological type.
Right.
The fact part is that you've got some people that, by their nature, are a little more direct and frank and task-focused, direct to the point.
Right.
They pretty much
My husband.
and they are the kind of people that will use sarcasm as a sense of humour. And when you say to them that sarcasm is the lowest form of wit, they go, who cares? It's still a form of wit.
Right.
And so, and crack themselves up again. So you've got people that sit in that upper left part of the brain in that logical factual space. And then you've got people that sit in the bottom left indicator, the left part of the brain, which indicates more around structure and steady and cautious and right. These are the people that like to write lists, and if you do something not on your list, you write it in and then tick it off to say you did it. So that's the detailed structure planning in advance, getting things done.
Right.
Then you've got the limbic right side of the brain, which is very visceral, very people focused. It's not the same speed as that logical factual person.
Okay.
They want to, hey, how you going? You know, we'll get to the facts, but let's have a cup of tea and a chat and a conversation.
Right. Whereas the people that you were saying before who are very task focused, that would kill some people.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. You are someone, we call it the blue corner, the logical, factual,
Right.
analytical corner. In the blue corner, you are someone in the blue corner. Does my bum look fat in this skirt? They're going to go, sure does, hope you kept the receipt. That should go back, right? If you are someone in what we call the red corner, that people corner around intuition, expressive feelings, connection, that side of things, does my bum look fat in the skirt? You could be in the middle of a vanilla slice. If you come from that corner, you could be in the middle of a mouthful of the biggest sandwich ever. You have to swallow that in a moment and go, they all look good. Seriously, which one do you like? Which one feels better on? I'm not going to give you some frank, direct, curt answer. I'm going to be a little more careful with that, because the harmony and the relationship matters more than just getting the job done. And then there's the upper right side, which we call the yellow corner. So it's the creative, intuitive, big picture, don't want to get into the detail list. We don't need a list. We'll just work it out when we get there.
Right.
People planning a picnic from that green corner. We've planned it 2 weeks in advance. We have a wet weather plan. We know who is actually bringing what. In the yellow corner, that creative, intuitive, trusting space, we'll just work it out. Look,
Yes.
it's Saturday around about 10 at the beach. Well, which beach and
Right.
whereabouts exactly?
Right.
And so all of those independently can send each other crazy.
Right.
So I think to this beautiful person's question, and particularly where they put lol, I love the fact they're still finding humour in that because that seriously helps, is to come back to an intention to learn to speak other people's languages. So
I love that.
how do
I love
you
that.
talk other people's languages? So if
Yes.
your partner's blue, how do you learn to be a bit more blue? I had a guy in Sydney,
Yes.
he was really red, creative, personal, loved people, loved the conversation.
Yes.
His wife was really blue, frank, direct,
Okay.
to the point.
Okay.
And he said to me, how do I talk her language? Because we talked about
Right.
talking language. And I said, the next
Yes.
time you're buying something, like a big thing down at Harvey Norman, or you're buying a new washing machine, fridge, when you get to the end, do something that you wouldn't do. Do something that she would do. An example, I said, lean over to the person who served you and say, you know what, we've been really good customers today. How about another 10% off? Now, I have to tell you that this guy said, I couldn't say that. I said, but do you think your wife could? Oh, yeah, gosh, she could. So
Okay.
you be the first person to ask for the discount. I have to tell you, you may not even make it home. Seriously, she is going to fall even more in love with you in that
right.
moment.
Yeah,
and he
right.
rang me. I said, you may not
Nice.
even make it to the car. And anyway, he sent me a text message because he couldn't get me. He said, I've got some good news. And the text message was, we bought a new washing machine. I said to the guy, how about 10% off? And she turned around and looked at me, and with the biggest smile, like, honestly, it just helped them
Right.
connect. The same way that she is learning to go, so how was your day?
Right.
Shall we have a cup of tea first before we do all of the madness?
Okay,
Let's have some time dwelling in the
Yes.
people space. So I
Yes.
think if it helps you guys remember, some people are really task orientated, some people are really people orientated. How do you learn to talk the other language? So, if I'm going to Germany, it would help for me to learn a little bit of German.
Right.
It would help build a better connection.
Right.
So learn a bit of German. So at least I can get started. And now can we speak English? At least I've
nice.
made some effort to speak your
Love
language.
it. Love it.
It takes a bit of work.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. And I think you alluded to this. It's that intentional piece where you consciously go, what is it that, how do they speak? How do they operate? What's their jam? And then intentionally thinking, like, without being so, oh my God, he's so short. Like, what's up with that? Just really kind of having this compassion to say, that's how he's hardwired.
Yeah.
How can I...
How do I learn that language?
Right.
And because a lot of people will use their personality style as an excuse for poor relationships.
Okay.
So it's a really important disclaimer that
Yeah, nice.
please that you do not go, well, I'm one of those blue quadrant people. Of course, I'm going to be offending some people. I need to keep up. That's not a really healthy intention.
Right.
So
Right.
you are not your personality style. It's part of what shapes you in terms of your thinking.
Yes.
I think the secret, though, is to be able to go, you know what? What do you speak? What's your language? You like those things in order? I'm going to tell you Monday, if you're my wife, I'm going to tell you Monday that we're going out for a surprise date Friday night. Really, where are we going? Well, I can't tell you where we're going, but it's smart casual. You know, that white skirt with the black top that you wore to the interview? Something like that would be perfect. It's just the two of us. There'll be no surprises. I've got the babysitter booked at 6. We won't be home to 10, so I've booked the babysitter to 11 just in case. So,
Wow.
So if I'm thinking about my partner and she's very structured, organised and planned, I don't
Detail-orientated.
come home Friday night with
Right.
a babysitter in tow going, what's the babysitter doing here?
Yes.
Oh, I thought we could go on a date. That would freak that person out.
Right.
It's not even respectful, really,
Right.
in that
Right.
space. But if I had that yellow person as a partner who was
Yes.
like very creative, last minute, big picture,
Yes.
intuitive, we'll work it out.
Got it.
And I come in with a babysitter on
Yes.
Friday night, where are we going? We're going on a date. Where? I don't know, I haven't booked anything. Let's just see what you wear. They're going to be going, oh my God, I love you even more. Like, that is so cool.
Right.
So it's a fun thing to play with. If you want to do some Googling, Google Herman Brain Dominance Indicator, Myers-Briggs type indicator, disc profiling. There's so many different profiling tools,
Yes.
and we are so complicated. So we're not just that one thing. It just may help you, though, go, what's the overall intention? We want to connect better. We want to be nicer to each other. We want to
Yes.
speak each other's language,
Yes.
love on each other a little more.
Yes.
do a bit of work.
Gosh, it makes a difference, Bruce. I know exactly what you're talking about. We had this sales training years ago.
Yeah.
And when I figured out I'm that person, Rob's this person, he's just sharp to the point, like no BS, right?
Yeah,
just
yeah.
tell me the bottom line.
Yeah.
And then it's just really helped me know how I need to deliver my message.
Yeah.
I just need the facts.
Yeah. That's it.
Don't dance around
Yeah.
it. Don't fluff. Just give me
How
the
much
details.
was that? $27.
Right.
Where versus maybe your natural style. How was
Right.
it? Well, look, there was about 3 or 4 different ones there, and I wasn't sure which one to get. And so I thought, well, what do we actually need as a couple? And I thought maybe this might be the best one.
Oh my
you haven't
gosh.
even. And then
Were you in the house at that time? My God, that's
and
totally
it's
our
like,
conversation.
how much does it cost? $27.
Right.
Cup of tea.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
that business is done. Let's get to the next bit.
Love
So
it.
it's
Love it.
worth doing the work.
Love
on
it. It totally is, guys. And so I just really want to just attest to what Bruce is saying. So check out those resources that he's just mentioned. You will love it. And so I think the more you know about yourself, I think that's almost like the key to. It's so liberating.
Yeah.
It's so liberating, and just the dance becomes so much smoother. So
And can I just make sure I have to give you the disclaimer again? You cannot use your personality style as an excuse. Oh, well,
Nice.
that's who I am. It's like, well,
Nice.
good. That's who you are. Honour that. Great. Now I know, as you said, like with you and your husband,
Yes.
it just gave you that. I use it as a coping mechanism to
Right.
go, so that person's probably a bit more blue.
Yes.
They send me an email, Bruce, where's the report? Daryl. I go, blue, I can speak blue.
right,
You'll have it on Tuesday, regards, Bruce.
right.
Somebody sends me an email that goes, Bruce, just checking in on you. How's things going? Hope the family's well. I'm looking forward to seeing you Tuesday. It's not blue. That's more red. It's more personal and
Right.
people and relationships. So talk that language.
Yes.
And someone has to go first. If you're a couple and you're stuck in the, well, they should and they should and they should.
I love it.
Someone's got to go first and
Yeah, nice.
make it you.
I agree. That's where the power sits, guys, when you take the action. So let's hang around for a bit, and then we will dive straight into the next question.